Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. Hope everybody's doing well out there today. Today is going to be a vinyl tag, quarantine edition. Usually in the beginning of the year, we do a VC vinyl tag of 20 questions about the previous year, what you've collected, etc. But this year, since everybody's sitting home and sort of going stir crazy, Dylan at Noble Records came up with a vinyl tag quarantine or coronavirus issue. Okay, so I got 20 questions and let's get right into it. All right, the first question is your favorite local favorite band or artist from your area, from your state, your city, whatever. All right, we live in Maine and a lot of artists around here, but my favorite and one of the all-time greats from Maine is Dick Curless, a country western singer who had the great song Tombstone Every Mile, which is about truckers and driving in the backwoods of Maine in the winter with the snow and the ice. And you could put a tombstone every mile for all the people killed driving the big rigs in the icy winter of Maine. So that's my number one local thing is Dick Curless, Tombstone Every Mile. Great country music from way up here in Maine. Number two, a record you would highly recommend. Here's a record, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but this is one of my favorites, absolutely fantastic, is David Lindley. And this is David Lindley, El Rey X Very Greasy. If you don't know David, David was a studio musician, played with everybody, backed up everybody from Linda Ronstadt, Jackson Browne was all part of that California Eagles backup band thing. This album, as the title says, very greasy, is sort of Texas swamp kind of music with a reggae beat. He does great song, Give Me That Ting, Do You Want to Dance, which everybody knows, Pop Was a Rolling Stone, Werewolves of London, Texas Tango, Tiki Torches at Twilight, just fantastic. A great multi-instrumentalist. David could play anything with a string. And I would highly recommend you find anything from David Lindley. You absolutely love it. And if you look on a lot of albums, you'll see his name on there as a backup musician. So that's David Lindley, highly recommended. And next is a tip for beginners. My number one tip for beginners is similar to what Vinyl Richie said. Buy clean records. But I would also say don't worry so much about pressings, first pressings, second pressings, whatever. I would say if you're starting off, get clean records, get something you like. Don't spend a lot of money. I'm big on cheap records. Most of my collection of 3,000 records is mostly from Goodwill and yard sales and thrift shops. Most of them I spent less than $5 on. Lately I've been spending more, but generally I've been spending less than $5 on most of my collection. And don't go crazy and spend a lot of money. Look for cheap records, look for clean records. Spend time digging and you'll find some great stuff. First record that got you into deeper music, without a doubt, it's John Coltrane's Love Supreme. This is not an original, but it's a really clean copy I have. Friend in college played this for me probably in 1971 or so and completely blew my mind. Had never heard anything like it. And it really changed the way I look at music. So, A Love Supreme, John Coltrane. An obscure record people don't know. Now, here's a great album. Guy's name is Sonny Leland. He's a piano player, originally from England. Came to America, settled in California, and played with Big Sandy and his Fly Right Boys, which is a rockabilly band. Then he moved to New Orleans. This is an amazing record of boogie-woogie piano playing. There's the back cover, which is fantastic. Wine, Women, and Song. Done Tore Your Playhouse Down. Midnight Steppers. Sunny Road. Beer and Boogie. Amazing piano player. Great boogie-woogie piano. Carl Sonny Leland. Definitely something people probably don't know, but you should definitely check him out. Also, Big Sandy and the Fly Right Boys, which is a rockabilly band. He played with them for years. A group you want to collect all their records. I have most of them. I think I just pretty much have the collection now. Is the band. Love the band. This is their first album. Obviously, music from Big Pink. Anything by the band, I always jump on it. Even mediocre stuff by the band is better than most stuff out there. Just amazing group. So definitely that one. One where the second release is better than their first release. All right, the first release of this band is fantastic. The second release, I think, is even better. And that's Santana, Abraxas. Like I said, the first release really changed a lot of stuff. But the second release is even better, I think. Yeah. I got to see Santana in their heyday in 1969. Got to see them twice that summer of '69. Once at the Atlantic City Pop Festival, and then a couple of weeks later at Woodstock. So, again, I only saw him once more about 3 years later with John McLaughlin. But Santana, Abraxas. Second better than the first. Whack-a-mole. So Whack-a-mole is a thing that Mazzy started. And basically, you don't look, turn around, grab an album, and talk about it. So let's see what we come up with. And we got, this is a the Concord Jazz Guitar Collection, which is a compilation from Concord Jazz. And it has all different musicians on it. I'm trying to see. Kenny Burrell, Charlie Bird, Cal Collins, Herb Ellis, Tal Farlow, Barney Kessel, Joe Pass. A great compilation of jazz guitar, 2-record set. So that's my Whack-a-mole. Concord Jazz is a record label. And there you go. That's my Whack-a-mole. Album you listen to the most in your life. Well, when you get to be my age and been around a long time, listen to a lot of records, but I think obviously the album I listen to more than anything else was Sgt Peppers. Sgt Peppers was the first stereo record I bought. When I got my first stereo when I was back in high school, my dad took me down to New York City to Canal Street, where they used to have outside on Canal Street, all the stores had electronics all up and down the street on the street. And we went down there one Saturday and we picked out a stereo. I think it cost about $35 or whatever it was. And then we drove home and we stopped off at Corvette's in New York, and I bought this album, not this particular album, but this album. And that was my first stereo record. And the one I listened to more than any was probably Sgt Peppers. I don't really have a crazy story. Next one is to tell a crazy story about a record. Don't really have a crazy story. Collecting pet peeves. Without a doubt, my biggest pet peeve for collecting records is represses of records with new covers and new titles, and you already have it. In other words, there's a record by Sonny Boy Williamson, and then 15 years later, another company will get that record, will re-release it under a new name with a totally different looking label, different cover, and you pick it up, you come home, and you realize you have that record again. Nothing pisses me off more than that, and it happens too often. And when you have 3,000 albums, you try to, I don't want to buy doubles, so I really try hard not to end up buying doubles, but when they trick you like that to buying the same record again, that's without a doubt, my biggest pet peeve. Nothing pisses me off more than that. A genre people would be surprised about you collecting. I don't know if to be surprised, but I do collect show tunes. And this is the original Cabaret, not the movie, but the original Broadway show score of Cabaret. I have a number of show tunes, and it is my guilty pleasure. I sort of enjoy show tunes now and then, depending on what they are. But there you go, show tunes, Cabaret. Next one is the year you were born. Well, being old as dirt, when I was born, I think they were just creating electricity for the first time. There weren't many records coming out in 1949. But the next question is a 10-inch record, and the 10-inch record I have is from 1950, so this will do for both of them. And it's Billie Holiday, Billie Holiday Sings. This was put out in 1950, which is a year after I was born. And this she does The Man I Love, St. Louis Blues, All of Me, You Go to My Head. Fantastic record. Again, this is another Goodwill find, and really happy to have this Billie Holiday Sings on Columbia. It's a red Columbia label, if you're interested. So I killed two birds with one stone there. Interesting fact about a record. Okay, here's a record, Modern Lovers. However, this record was originally recorded in 1972, but not released until 1978. I should have looked this up closer. Early 72, it was recorded, and again, it wasn't released until the late 70s under another name. But this is the original tapes that they did, Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers. Fantastic album. Roadrunner 1, Astral Plane, Girlfriend, Dance With Me, Don't Let Our Youth Go to Waste, all their really early stuff. And then they re-recorded it later on for another album, but this is their first record, which was never released. So that's sort of interesting. An album with an animal on the cover. So I'm going with Hugh Masekela's next album. That's obviously not a real zebra, but I love that cover. So that's Hugh Masekela, South African trumpet player and band leader. Great album, by the way. Really great album. Crazy artwork. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Peter Tosh. No nuclear war, no nuclear holocaust, no war. And when I saw this cover, I said, you know, it reminds me of the Count Basie album. I mean, who puts an atom bomb on the cover of their album? But I guess Count Basie did. So those two records sort of together. Crazy artwork on the cover. A good album, cheap. It's a great album. I love this record, and you can find this for under $5 every day at every yard sale, every record store around. And it's the first Bonnie Raitt album. So great. What can I say? It's just a great album. Has everybody on. I mean, yeah, Jim Keltner, Bob Freebo, etc. Bonnie Raitt, Taking My Time. Actually, it's the second album. But any of the first 2 or 3 Bonnie Raitt albums, you can always find them cheap, and they're just fantastic. This is one of my favorites, Taking My Time, Bonnie Raitt. Acquired Taste. All right, this one definitely is acquired taste, and it is Hawaiian music. And the only reason I picked this up, I was at Goodwill, and I saw this, and I saw Ry Cooder is playing on this album. So as soon as I saw Ry Cooder, I said, how can I not try this record? So the guy's name is Gabi Pahanui, Hawaiian band. And I gotta say, I really enjoy this record. I don't like the vocals so much, but the music itself, fantastic. And there's a young Ry Cooder there. We recorded, I think, 1975. So even then, Ry was working with different, what they call world music, or different kinds of music. So yeah, Hawaiian music, sort of an acquired taste for sure, but great album. I picked up another one by Gabi, actually, when I saw it. I have a couple other Hawaiian albums, but yeah, Hawaiian music. And last but not least, your most recent buy, my recent purchase, is the Townes Van Zandt double album called Rear View Mirror. And it's a 2 LP collection of live recordings. Unfortunately, it gives you no information anywhere about where it was recorded, when it was recorded, or anything. But he does all his classic songs. They're all recorded in a small club, and it's really great. If you love Townes, it's a great album. He does, you know, Pancho and Lefty, Our Mother the Mountain, Flying Shoes, Tower Song, Brother Flower. It's great. Fantastic. Townes Van Zandt, Rearview Mirror. So there you go. That's my vinyl tag coronavirus edition. Okay, like to see more people get involved in this. I saw a couple already, and looking to see yours. Okay, and until next time, everybody, take care of yourself, stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time, peace.